So Tim, what do people mean when they say that they have a spiritual dimension to their life?
In some cases, I think they actually mean that that human beings have a soul, that there's some sort of spiritual reality beyond the material reality, and they don't really know what that is, and they think it shows up in the way people love one another. It shows up in the way people treat the environment with a certain. They treat it as very special and holy, and not just as material things to cut up and use any way they want. I think in some cases people actually think that they're spiritual if they believe that there's a right and wrong, an absolute right and wrong, and so they very often would say, I don't feel that I'm strictly a secular person. But that does not usually translate into the idea of a personal God, and especially doesn't translate into a God that determines how you live. Because if you just have a spiritual dimension, you still are free to decide how you want to live.
What does the rise in New Age religious groups and beliefs teach us?
It actually teaches us that the strict idea that religion is for immature people, that religion is going to die out, that people are going to eventually be very rational and scientific and not have any illusions that there's more to life than just the material, that actually isn't something that most human beings can live with, and they don't believe it. And that's one of the reasons why, if you watch the old Star Trek movies, all the emphasis is on being completely rational, and religion is completely in the past. But the newer Star Trek, like with Jean-Luc Picard and Patrick Stewart and so on, there's much more emphasis on faith and much more emphasis on spirituality. And even though it's very New Age-ish, it's not Christian, God's never personal, it still shows that actually people couldn't live with absolute secularity. They know there's a spiritual dimension, and that's what they're responding to.
Why are people still looking for something supernatural when we live in such a scientific age?
For some people it's intuitive. Some people just sense that there's got to be more to life than molecules. Some people, though, have intellectually thought about it. They realize that if there is no God and there is no spirit world, then love is nothing but a chemical reaction at all. And the sense that some things are right and some things are wrong is nothing but a chemical reaction that's in us because of natural selection. And some people have realized that if there is absolutely no God and there's no spiritual dimension, then there's no way to say some things are right and wrong, that there's such a thing as injustice, that genocide is wrong. Because the strong eat the weak, and that's how evolution works, and so what's the problem? So some people for intellectual reasons, and some people for intuitive reasons, realize that secularism, the secular mindset is actually too simple and can't account for what we know about reality, that there is a right and wrong, that love is more than just a chemical reaction.